Some players wanted to slither into this character's DMs. Others wanted to kick his Azkaban into prison for good. So how did you handle the Sebastian Sallow sitch? Warning, major spoilers ahead for Hogwarts Legacy.
Fine. I'm sorry. I'm letting my emotions get the better of me.
Of the many characters that players will encounter over the course of Hogwarts Legacy, Sebastian Sallow is certainly one of the more tragic. He also quickly goes down a dark path, which may leave players feeling conflicted about the correct way to handle him.
Your father would be ashamed. You've gone too far, Sebastian. Stay away from her. From all of us.
Raised by his uncle after the death of his parents, Sebastian Sallow grew up very close to his sister. Sebastian eventually begins attending Hogwarts as a Slytherin student, where he begins to learn more about the dark arts. Although he may seem like a typical wayward student in a Draco Malfoy mold, Sebastian insists that there's a deeper reason for his quest for power. It turns out that Sebastian's sister is deathly ill after being cursed by the villainous Victor Rookwood, although Sebastian is told that a goblin placed a deadly curse on his sibling. These circumstances instill a hatred of goblins in Sebastian, who tries to learn dark spells in the hopes of saving his sister. Sebastian will enlist the player character to help with a number of side missions in his quest to master stronger magic. Eventually, Sebastian makes the unforgivable choice to kill his own uncle, when the older man tries to bring an end to his crusade.
I won't let her suffer! Avada Kedavra!
This results in Sebastian's sister Anne turning her back on him and returning to their home village without him. As if all that weren't stressful enough, players are also given the choice of whether or not to turn Sebastian over to the authorities. Despite the murder of Sebastian's uncle, some players may find themselves struggling with this decision, since Sebastian has been one of the protagonist's besties since the first day of school. Here's what happens if you decide to turn Sebastian Sallow in. If players decide that Sebastian needs to face justice for his actions, Headmaster Phineas Nigellus Black will be appalled at the murder and recommend Sebastian's immediate expulsion from Hogwarts. The protagonist will be informed that Sebastian will have to stand trial before the Ministry of Magic for using an unforgivable curse and taking the life of a fellow wizard. As a result, this is the last time the player will see Sebastian around the school, as a young wizard has been carted off to face his punishment. This also revokes your chance to learn any unforgivable curses you've yet to add to your arsenal, although maybe that's for the best. But what if players decide not to tell Headmaster Black about Sebastian's crimes? In that case, Sebastian still seems to learn the error of his ways.
I realize I can't undo what's been done, but I can try every day to make up for it. I owe you and Ominous everything for standing by me.
Hogwarts Legacy doesn't really offer any kind of morality system to speak of, so the choice basically comes down to whether or not you want to keep hanging out with Sebastian. Ultimately, the biggest impact this choice has on the game is that turning Sebastian in will result in fewer quests and possibly fewer spells to fall back on. And oddly enough, it feels like the most obvious character development occurs when the player decides to let Sebastian go free. The decision whether or not to hand Sebastian Sallow over to Headmaster Black is one with which some fans of the game seem to struggle. In Reddit threads discussing the decision, some players have admitted to being stuck at this part of the game. Sebastian is a fairly constant presence throughout the game, and the writers have gone out of their way to try and make Sebastian's plight a sympathetic one, no matter how misguided it may be. Some fans have argued that Sebastian has been punished enough. His sister has cut him out of her life, and he has to live with the death of his uncle on his conscience. Others feel that a stay in Azkaban appears to be far too horrific a sentence for someone like Sebastian, who seemed to believe he was doing the right thing until it all went wrong.
You've made your choice.
This just goes to show that Sebastian is one of the game's more complex characters, as many players have a hard time turning on him in the end. But at least you know what will happen if you make him answer for his actions.